everybody, and thanks for joining me here at MIPS Scan. I'm so glad that you took a few minutes to take a look at this video. Obviously, as per my post, I'm going to be talking about the iPad, which I was lucky enough to receive this morning. These are not for sale yet in Canada, so I had one brought up from the US. And I've had the full day to utilize it, both from a work perspective and just from a personal perspective. Obviously, I can't do a full review and do it justice in just one day. So I will have a more detailed review that I'll do in about a week's time. Not to go through all the specific applications, but I thought I'd just highlight some of the things that really jumped out at me. First and foremost, the device itself, very nicely made. A real pleasure to hold, not too heavy in my opinion. The screen is just fantastic. I'm not sure how well that's coming across in the video, but the screen has a certain surreal quality to it. It's that crisp and that's bright. It almost looks like the items are painted on there, almost like an oil painting as opposed to just being a digital screen. As well, the device is very responsive. There's nothing sluggish about it. You can see me changing screens here. And when I open up applications, they respond very quickly, which you'll notice here as I start to show you a few things here. One of the things that I got to use today, obviously my laptop, as I mentioned in the post, was being utilized for a webinar, and I still needed to be able to reference documents, so rather than sort of stop sharing my screen and then jumping to email to look at documents, I was able to bring those up just here on my email. I won't show you any client-related emails now, so I'll use a personal email. So I'll launch my email program here, and you can see there I've opened up an email. If I flip it on its side, I do get to see all of the emails there, as we've seen in some of the demonstration videos. This particular email here is from one of my children's schools, and there is a PDF document, which is a newsletter. You'll notice when I tap it, just how quickly that PDF document comes up. How responsive it is as I scroll it up. There's really no redrawing of the screen whatsoever. It's a 6-page PDF. If I double tap a particular area, it actually zooms in to the content. So this was a newsletter in columns, as you could see, and how quickly this particular paragraph on Earth Day, for instance, came up. Again, double tapping that will send it back down. You can pinch as well if you just want to zoom into particular areas. And again, a double tap will center that if you're off alignment. So really, really nice to be able to do that. I was able to open up a number of Excel documents and Word documents today as a part of the work that I was doing, and it was really, really nice to be able to continue to utilize that. One of the other applications that I really, really am enjoying just in the single day that I've used it so far, let's just tap the calendar there. The calendar app is really quite nice. I obviously use it quite extensively on my iPhone, and I think if I just scroll down here a little bit, you can see I've got my various items from today. If I turn it on its side, we see sort of the 2-page layout with details on the left and blocked off time on the right. I can of course go to a week mode. Let's do that here. There we go. You can see the week mode here. Let's try tapping the month. There we go. So it's a very, very nice way to be able to look at the calendar either in portrait mode or landscape mode. It's a nice just way to be able to keep it open on your desk and be able to see the various items that are coming throughout the day. If I tap it, you see quite quickly the details pop up. Okay. A couple of other apps. Evernote. I'm a really big fan of Evernote. I tend to use it on my iPhone in conjunction with syncing to my laptop. Evernote is a way for you to be able to capture things and sort of sync them up into the cloud. The Evernote application here on the iPad is absolutely fantastic. You can see that it will show me a whole series of my notebooks. Let's just, there we go. So there's all my notes. And really this, again, it's syncing with the cloud, so to speak, and that keeps it in sync with my laptop and my other devices. And they've done a nice job, again, being able to look at it in portrait or landscape mode. I've got a whole series of notes here. If I tap this one here, for instance, for some notes from a meeting, Up it comes, the notes make themselves available. If I go onto the side here, now I see the notes along the left-hand side. So they've done a really good job of integrating the split screen technology into Evernote. I think just one of the other things that has really struck me about the device from using the internet perspective is the Safari web browser. I've used it quite extensively, obviously, on my Macs, and I've used it quite a bit on the iPhone itself. Very, very fast device for browsing the web. I know that there have been some reports that the Wi-Fi connectivity has been lacking somewhat on some people's devices. I'm sitting here in my dining room, and my router is 2 floors up in my office, so I'm having no issue whatsoever reaching, getting signal, and you can see how quickly I've brought up here a sample page of MIP scan. Again, if I turn it on its side, it will reorient itself and size the content appropriately. Really, really quite nice. I'm finding that the keyboard, on-screen keyboard, really nice to be able to type on. Again, I've had read some people talking about their dislike for it. If you've been able to type on the iPhone, this will be just a pleasure to type on. It's the iPhone I have found over time quite usable. This one is even more usable because of the increase in size. Again, you can just punch in, let's punch in CNN for instance. It comes up out of a drop-down list. And you can see here I'm loading up this page on the fly. Again, pretty quick for a tablet of this size. Again, what we're used to, being able to tap in, tap out, rotate, scroll. So very nice. The browsing experience here has been fantastic. I guess the last thing I'll show you here, and then I'll sign off, is some of the things that they've been doing actually with some of the packaged news applications. The NPR one, for instance, is absolutely fantastic. I was using it this evening, having a cup of coffee. You launch NPR, and it's gone off and it's grabbing news. You can see here, I got news on the top. Not sure how well you can see that. There's a whole section on arts, for instance. I can, of course, pick topics and go to technology, and now this will pull down. Here we go. Here's an article on Polaroid, for instance, and I can listen to that if I wanted to. I won't do that right now. I could add it to a playlist, come up with a whole series of articles that I either want to listen to, or of course I can read the articles. Here. This application is done really well. Again, turning it on its side just reorients it. So whichever you're most comfortable with, the iPad really adapts itself to the way that you want to be able to use it. So thanks very much for joining me here at First Look at the iPad itself, and I look forward to using it throughout the week and giving you a bit more in-depth on some of the specific applications, both from a business perspective and a personal perspective. So for MIP Scan, this is MIP, thanking you again and bidding you well until the next time we chat. Ciao.